I was killing the zombies, dude. I'm friendly. Don't shoot at me. Well, that's some cracking aim. And I bled out. Hey, man. Hello. Hello there. Can you hear me? Yeah, I do, dude. I'm just shooting a zombie.
You need a weapon? I got 3 of them.
Oh, awesome.
Here, come take a weapon out of my backpack, dude.
Okay, I'm just going to drop this taser, so I haven't got anything. I'm here. Hey, man.
Take a... Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, watch out, there's a zombie. Oh, you haven't got any ammo, dude. I'll shoot him. Watch out. Okay, you passed out, dude. I'll bandage you up. That was a synchronized pass out. You good? Should be good, dude. I've just bandaged you. Yeah? So I decided to do this video a little bit differently to all my other DayZ apps. This isn't really a DayZ episode at all. I just decided to put some DayZ footage in the background. I was helping my friend here get used to the game because it was his very first time playing, and it was so nice because it's very rare to actually find somebody who's, it's their first time, and he was genuinely friendly like people used to be back in like May 2012 when the first game came out, because to him, it's about survival. Everything's kind of confusing and it's wonderful, and it was great actually finding somebody like that at the start of a game. But I also want to share that clip before the intro to show you everything that's wrong with DayZ mod as it currently stands, and also later on in this video tell you sort of my thoughts on the standalone, what Rocket said in the last couple of days when we released a dev blog saying that the standalone is going to be pushed back another month till August. And I just thought I'd tell you sort of my take on the whole thing, because in the last year I've been posting DayZ videos. I don't think I've ever expressed my opinion on the game. All the commentary has pretty much been live, albeit some of it's been rearranged a little bit, so it flows better when you're watching it as a viewer. But other than that, I haven't really talked about the game as a whole. Now, unfortunately, my friend there disconnected, and he never came back, so I ran up the Nadzino road, which is where I'm at now, for, it's about 30 minutes later. I picked up a CZ out of the barns behind Cherno, and I'm just trying to glitch this car, actually, because in Breaking Point, you could take the wheel off the front, it didn't register, and then you could put it on the back, but it seems they fixed this in Overwatch, which is the mod I'm playing now. But I thought I'd show you this situation, where this guy, because I think this is, like, perfectly defines what combat is currently like in DayZ, because unfortunately, car doors are pretty loud, and this guy, I think he heard me.
Go down.
Now you see that McLaren guy there, I mean, he's obviously not a very nice guy, just smack talking in a video game, but I'd like to think that sort of a year ago, even he would have played like as sort of an honourable bandit or an honourable hero, not just a shoot on sight team deathmatch. Because to me, and maybe it's because I played the game for so long now, but guys who do that to me are just noobs, because they're not getting the most out of the game. They're playing it the easiest way because they don't know how to do it in any other way. Bandits used to hold people up and take all their stuff, not just shoot pointlessly on sight. Heroes used to, from an advantageous position, try and help other people, with blood bags, bandages them, giving them supplies and stuff. But people just, they don't play as those two types anymore, and it's not really the people's, the people who start playing DayZ now's fault. It's just the way the game's designed. When you can run from one end of the map to the other with a can of beans and a Coke, what is the point in doing anything other than shooting people on sight? I understand completely why people do it, and that's kind of why I don't want Rocket to give in to all the twats on Reddit who keep moaning that the standalone isn't much better than the mod. The zombies are still, the standalone is in really early pre-alpha at the moment. I hear a lot of people say, why don't you do it like Minecraft and release it when it's really early? When Minecraft first came out, basic functionality was there. You could dig dirt, you could chop down a tree, you could build yourself a log house if you wanted to. That basic functionality was there. It currently isn't in DayZ, and if you release the game as it currently is, even if it's only got one gun in or whatever, people are basically just going to shoot on sight because there's none other survival aspect yet which Rocket wants to put into it, and I think that's what has to be in the game. I think Rocket's kind of gone about it sort of the wrong way to an extent. I think he would be better just setting an endpoint, say like May 2014. That's when the game will be finished. We'll have base building in that. We'll have all the diseases, all the extra survival aspects. We'll have a whole array of guns, and that's it. That's when we'll release our beta build. People can go into it then. And then people have got a date, and they won't keep sort of pestering him for it. I don't even think this is Rocket's fault, though. Rocket is a game developer. He's not a PR guy, and really, in my opinion, Bohemia Interactive should invest more money in DayZ Standalone. I wouldn't be surprised if DayZ Standalone doesn't outsell Arma 3 when it's released, and it seems they're not spending or not employing as many people onto building the standalone as they're doing with Arma 3, which is obviously going from alpha to beta incredibly quickly. And I just think that if more was spent on that, deadlines could be more realistically set, and they'd obviously push through a lot quicker. You see, I heard some people, they were saying this last month as well, but recently this week, saying that DayZ is a scam now because Rocket chose not to release it this month. The irony being that a scam is something where you take money of other people for something which isn't as good as perhaps proposed, and in not releasing the alpha, he's actually not making any money, Rocket. So in holding it back, the only reason he could be holding it back is to actually improve it to the point where it's playable as an alpha. So I just think, I don't even understand why people think that kind of, it's just idiocy. What do I think, though, needs to be fixed in the standalone before they release it to the public? I made a list of these. Logins. Some of you might not believe this, but Jack and I sometimes try logging into servers for an hour and a half, just trying to log into a server before we can actually get onto a game to play in DayZ, which is obviously ridiculous. And by the time you spend that amount of time, you just don't want to play the game. If you spend that much time trying to log into something. So logins, they have to be fast and they have to work every time, and you have to have all of your gear every time that you log in. That really has to be the case in the standalone. The menu system, obviously that's being overhauled completely, but obviously it is very laggy. The fact you can't change your guns whilst you're running, things like that, obviously that's all going to be revamped anyway. That was one of the main things that you can see in the standalone footage, that they've changed it also. It's more sort of an Arma 3 system where you can just click across and it's a lot quicker. Graphical settings, there's two things to this. Firstly, you need to set a good minimum graphic level. I'm playing on low at the moment because if you remove shadows and everything, you can see people so much easier and it gives you such a big advantage. If you want the game to look as pretty as the standalone currently does in the devlog Rocket released a couple of days ago, you've got to set that as the minimum standard. And I personally would say you've got to have shadows on as a minimum standard because it makes the game look terrible if you don't have them on. But obviously the other part of graphics is you need to be getting at least 50 FPS on average rigs in the center of towns. Like the center of Cherno is way too laggy at the moment to make the game enjoyable. I can't even imagine what it's like if you've got a worse PC, because you must be getting like 20 FPS sometimes in there, and that has to be fixed. And that does worry me a little bit because in the dev blog it looked a little bit laggy in what Rocket showed. When he was around the buildings, you could see noticeable frame drops, which has to be fixed before the standalone is released. Combat has obviously already been revamped in the standalone. There's no silly knockout timer. As I say, you could just have like self-EpiPen for that. So, if you had an EpiPen on you, that would be the use, because I don't even see people picking them up anymore because it's very rare to actually EpiPen your teammates. So, that could be the solution in the mod at the moment to knockout timers. Broken legs have also gone, so if you get shot, blood will come from where you got shot, and if you have a broken leg, it'll make you sort of walk with like a limp rather than being able to run, as at the moment obviously getting a broken leg makes you go to prone. And finally, as I've said before, there needs to be some reason for people not to treat it as a team deathmatch. Currently the mod has no reason. The exception, of course, being the Origins mod, where you can of course build your own houses. But bases, I mean, I would say that bases have to be in the standalone before it's released, or at least being able to like border up houses or something like that. Because the sad thing is, you know, as much as these things, you know, can't supposedly be put in the armor game, or you know, or so Rocky was saying, there's games like 7 Days to Die which are coming out which let you do that. And I just think that, you know, if a good base building system isn't implemented into the game, people will lose interest in the standalone very quickly. But anyway, you'll have to tell me what you think. As you can see in this last clip here, I never ended up dying in this life yet. And I've got 3 guys down there. And this is where you make a decision as to whether or not you play as a bandit or a hero. Now, 600 meters away with the DMR, I could kill all 3 of those guys before the first guy even heard the shot. And why don't I? Because to me this game is more than just a team deathmatch. And I really hope that the standalone instills that same type of feeling in more people. Thanks for watching, guys. I enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next chapter.